أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين باعث الأنبياء والمرسلين، ثم الصلاة والسلام على خير خلقه العبد المؤيد والرسول المسدد حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين وصحابته المنتجبين. قال الله تعالى في كتابه الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. فمن يرد الله أن يهديه يشرح صدره للإسلام. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. According to many research institutes, Islam is the fastest growing religion in the world. I don't think anyone disagrees over this, that more people in the world are converting to Islam than any other religion. Some statistics show that in the UK, in the United Kingdom, and in France, 100,000 people converted to Islam within the last 10 years. 100,000 in the United Kingdom, 100,000 in France. So within the past 10 years, that means over 200,000 people converted to Islam only in these two European countries. We're not counting the United States. We're not counting the rest of Europe. We're not counting Canada and Australia and New Zealand and other parts of the world. Only in these two countries, 200,000 new Muslims. In Germany, according to some statistics, there are 4,000 converts to Islam per year, only in Germany. Now, this is all despite the fact that there is Islamophobia. This is despite the fact that since 9/11 of 2001, there has been a strong anti-Islamic movement to destroy and distort and ruin the image of Islam. Despite all of this, hundreds of thousands are converting to Islam. Despite the fact that for over a year now, there's a fanatic, extremist, Islamist group called ISIS that's been destroying the image of Islam, and they're being portrayed very well in Western media. Despite all of this, and of course, they're called Islamists or Islamic, but they have nothing to do with Islam. Despite all of this, we still see hundreds of thousands that are converting to Islam. Why? For various reasons. Some of them, maybe they find an aspect of Islam to be attractive. For example, salah. The salah that you and I take lightly, and we find it as a hassle to perform it. There are some that convert to Islam because of salah, because they find it attractive. Others because of hijab. Yes. For some Muslims, hijab is a burden. There are others who convert to Islam because of hijab, because they find it as attractive. It brings respect and honor to women. Others, for example, because of Hajj. Others because of fasting. Others because of dua, and so on and so forth. Either because they find an aspect of Islam, it's appealing, or maybe because in Islam there's equality, and in Islam there's no bias. MashaAllah, here we have Iraqis, we have people from Iraq, we have people from Afghanistan, we have people from Pakistan, we have people from India, We have people from Sri Lanka, I know, from everywhere, correct? This is the best proof that in Islam there's no bias. In Islam there's no prejudice. Islam is colorblind. Whether you're white or you're black, you're equal in the eyes of Islam. Unlike other places, other nationalities. Didn't we read just maybe a week ago or less than 10 days ago in Charleston, South Carolina, in the United States of America, a white man entered a black church and killed 9 people? Didn't we read about this? This is a country that claims to be the most civilized country in the world, the most advanced country in the world. When it comes to technology, when it comes to scientific research, you will find it in the United States of America. But white people and black people cannot live safely and tolerantly in that country. But in Islam, Islam tells us about equality. And some people convert to Islam because of this. The majority of converts in the United States of America are what? They're black. Why? Because we give money out to black people in America for them to become Muslim? No. That's because they find in Islam equality. We don't have racism in Islam, and they find this as appealing. There are others who convert to Islam because for them it makes sense. Islam is a logical religion. Everything in Islam makes sense. There's nothing in Islam that goes against logic or goes against reason. And I say that with confidence, and I'm ready to back that up. In Islam, everything makes sense and it's logical and reasonable. Nothing goes against common sense in Islam. While you may find in other religions things that are superstitious. In Christianity, there's a lot of superstition. There's the holy water, which is seen as the blood of Jesus Christ. The holy bread, which is seen as the flesh of Jesus Christ. The Trinity itself, for many people, doesn't make sense. It goes against logic and reason. But in Islam, everything makes sense. That's why it's attractive. These are only some of the reasons. In fact, why do people convert to Islam? This requires a study of its own, a research paper of its own. And tonight, my point is not why do people convert to Islam? We can have a separate discussion about that. However, tonight, my dear brothers and sisters, we're among the blessed nights of Ramadan, and one of our jobs is to discuss social issues, is to discuss social problems and to find solutions and answers to those problems. One of the problems, as we have hundreds of thousands of converts to Islam, these converts face a lot of difficulty, a lot of challenges, a lot of problems. Throughout my journeys, whether I'm in the United States of America or in Canada or Europe or Australia, when I encounter converts to Islam, I see that they face lots of challenges. And I have a lot of convert friends. Some of them are my brothers. Some of them are my students. I've met with them, I've lived with them, and I've come to realize that they face lots of challenges. Lots of challenges. You and I, for those of us that live outside of the Middle East, we live in the West, we face challenges, correct? It's not easy for us to live in the West. It's hard. We face challenges. Believe me when I tell you that converts face 10 times the amount of challenges that you and I face. 10 times the amount. And I am not exaggerating. And some of them will listen to this lecture and they will support what I say. And they will agree to what I have to say. Converts face a lot of challenges when converting to Islam. Some of these challenges, they have to do with their family members, with their relatives. Just the process of converting, that's a major challenge. To let go of your previous beliefs, your previous religion, and believe in a new faith, that's a challenge of its own. But the challenges that I'd like to speak about tonight, my dear brothers and sisters, are challenges and problems that our convert brothers and sisters face from the Muslim community itself. Challenges that I create, problems that I create and you create and all of us create for these converts. It's very saddening and it's very painful. Yet we need to discuss these problems, because some of these challenges have driven many converts away from Islam. They accepted Islam when they saw that the Muslim community treated them in this horrific manner. Some of them said, you know what, forget Islam. If these are Muslims, if this is true Islam, then I don't want to be a Muslim. Thus, my dear brothers and sisters, we need to tackle these issues and try to find solutions for them. وصلوا على محمد وآل محمد. One of the major problems, one of the major challenges that converts to Islam face, number one, is that they are accused of being spies. They are accused of being spies. Many of them, especially if they're Westerners, especially if they're blonde, blue-eyed, especially if they're not poor, they're well-to-do, they come and they convert to Islam. Immediately, some members in our communities, I won't name which communities, this is in all communities, immediately we say, why did this person convert to Islam? Why is this person joining us? There must be a question. They put a question mark on him. He must be a spy. He must be working for the CIA or the MI6 or the intelligence service of the country that they live in. They have to be spies. This is horrific, my dear friends. A person who has converted to Islam, has left his former faith and has come to join a new faith, to make new brothers and sisters, they welcome him by accusing him of being a spy or accuse her of being a spy. This is disgusting. And I see this occurs in every community. In every community. Many of our convert brothers and sisters, they face this challenge that they're accused of being spies. I know one brother, and I read the story by him. He wrote an article. He said that when I converted to Islam, I was at my local mosque. And I would volunteer for services. He says at one event, I held a camera and I got up and I started taking pictures of the event. Just like right now, regularly people get up and take pictures. Is there something wrong with that? Is there anything wrong with taking pictures? But not when a convert takes pictures. Why? Because he's obviously taking pictures for the CIA. He's a spy. He's spying on us. Isn't this ridiculous? Just because he's taking pictures? Just because we have a convert that joins us at our sessions, at our majalis, immediately we label them as spies? You know, when you label someone as a spy, especially a convert, you know what that means? Basically, you're telling him you're not a Muslim. You're a fake. You're basically telling her she's not a Muslim. She's a spy amongst us. Our enemies have put them as a spy. That's what it means. When you accuse someone of being, when you accuse someone of espionage, that's what it means. This has to change, my dear brothers and sisters. These sentiments, they have to change. Otherwise, we will drive all of our brothers and sisters who have converted to Islam, we will drive them away. Islam does not teach us to accuse people of being spies. Islam does not teach us to accuse people of espionage. On the contrary, Islam teaches us to give others the benefit of the doubt. You see a person who has converted to Islam, welcome them. Give them the benefit of the doubt. Say that yes, they've accepted Islam. They've accepted Islam in their minds and in their hearts, and they wish to join us in our community and be part of our community. Husn al-dhan. This is what Islam teaches us. Give people the benefit of the doubt. Asalatu as-sahha. These are two concepts that are derived from the core of Islam and from the core of the Sunnah of Rasulullah and the Sunnah of Ahlulbayt, that we give people the benefit of the doubt. Unfortunately, these values, we rarely practice them. Not just with converts. Not just with converts, with members of our community, with our neighbors, even with our spouses. If my wife, today she wasn't smiling in my face, then the world will go upside down. She hates me. She's conspiring against me. And the list goes on. Well, maybe she has a headache. Maybe she's not feeling well. Maybe fasting has taken a toll on her. Give her the benefit of the doubt. Your husband came from work and he didn't come and say hi to you. He didn't come and eat with you. He went and took a nap. This doesn't mean that he's cheating on you. This doesn't mean that he hates you, that he stopped loving you. No, maybe he had a hard time at work. Give him the benefit of the doubt. These are core Islamic principles, my dear friends, that we stopped practicing, that we've forgotten about. Let's implement them, especially with converts. Especially when it comes to converts. When we look at the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Rasulullah in Medina was surrounded by hypocrites. He was surrounded by hypocrites. The Quran tells them this. This is not a Shia accusation for them to tell us, you Shia, you accuse, you say that there's hypocrite. No, the Quran says, وَمَنْ حَوْلَكُمْ مِنَ الْأَعْرَابِ مُنَافِقُونَ لَا تَعْلَمُهُمْ نَحْنُ نَعْلَمُهُمْ. Some of the people of Medina are hypocrites. And in fact, some of them were spies. They were spies. They were working for Quraysh, for the people of Mecca. Did you ever hear that Rasulullah accused someone of being a spy? Did you ever hear of this? Did you ever hear of Rasulullah ever accusing someone of being a hypocrite? Even though Medina was full of hypocrites, did he ever accuse someone? No. He never. Show me one. I want someone to get up and say, Sayyid, I have proof that Rasulullah accused so-and-so of being a spy or being a hypocrite. Never. But we do it all the time. We do it all the time. We have a convert in our community. We have one or two. Immediately we accuse them of being spies. You know what? And that's very naive. That's very naive. Because if the government wanted to put spies in our communities and our Islamic centers, they'll choose someone who's blue-eyed, blonde, blue-eyed. You think they'll choose someone like that? Or they'll choose someone like me? They'll choose someone who speaks Arabic or Farsi or Urdu or Pashto or Gujarati or the native language. They'll choose a native. Think about it. If you want to choose a spy, put a spy, you'll choose a native. You won't bring someone who's blonde, blue-eyed, a convert, and put him out as a spy. It doesn't make sense. Thus, we need to stop this, my dear friends. We need to stop with the conspiracy theories. That this convert is here spying on us. He's taking pictures of us. He's giving reports and messages about us. And one day he's going to make a disaster and cause trouble for us. Enough with the conspiracy theories. This is ridiculous. How come Christians and Christianity, they welcome converts? They go out and they do missionary work and they welcome people to Christianity. Have you ever seen Christians they accuse converts to Christianity of being spies? No. No, not at all. But we do it all the time. And plus, even if they're spies, even theoretically speaking, even though most of our 99% of our brothers and sisters that are converts, they are innocent of such crime. Yes, there might be one or two. It happens once in a while. Let's say that they are spies. What are we scared of? What are we scared of? What are you scared of? You're accusing them of being spies and you're afraid of them and you don't wish to welcome in the community. What are you scared of? Do we have a special agenda? Are we planning to make bombs in this country and other countries in the West? Are we plotting to assassinate the Prime Minister or the President? No. We, the followers of Ahlulbayt, we're the most peaceful people on earth. Am I right or am I wrong? We're the most peaceful people on earth. So why are we scared? Let's have 100 spies amongst us. What are we scared of? What are we plotting? Let people come to our centers and hear our lectures and listen to our discussions. None of it is private. None of it is secretive. We don't have secret agendas. So what are we scared of? Are we promoting for ISIS? Are we recruiting our youth to go and join ISIS? No. Others do that, not us. Maybe other groups, maybe other centers do such things. They recruit their youth for ISIS. We don't do this. We don't do this. If anything, we fight ISIS. We expose ISIS. We tell people not to join ISIS. So what are we afraid of? Yes, maybe once in a while, one convert will turn into a spy. Does that mean that all of them are spies? Does that mean that every single convert to Islam is a spy? Just like once in a while there are Muslim terrorists. Does that mean that all Muslims are terrorists? Don't we tell our friends? Don't we tell Americans and Canadians and the English and the Germans and the Western world that not all Muslims are terrorists? Why is it that if we find one convert is a spy, we generalize? Is that fair? If all converts are spies, then all Muslims are terrorists as well. If we want to play that game and generalize, that's not fair. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. This is one of the challenges, one of the prime challenges. A second challenge, one of the biggest challenges, is that many converts, they convert to Islam. They find that the religion of Islam is a beautiful religion. Everything makes sense. And Muslims are nice people, they're hospitable people. Yet when it comes to marriage, and these people, converts, they read about equality in Islam. Islam is a religion that preaches equality and everyone's equal. Until it comes to the issue of marriage. When they want to get married, especially young men. Young men who convert to Islam. Now that they want to get married, they come to this family, that family, natives. I won't mention nationalities. They come to specific nationalities from the Middle East. I want your daughter for marriage. I'm a Muslim. I'm a mu'min. I'm practicing. Now I want to marry your daughter. Many of them are rejected. Many of them are rejected. Is this the equality that we talk about? Is this the equality that we preach? We welcome these young men and women to Islam. Yet when they want to get married, when they want to become families with us, when they ask for our daughter's hand in marriage, we say no. Why? For silly reasons. Because maybe you'll go back to Christianity. I don't know that you're going to stay a Muslim. Perhaps you're going to go back to your old religion. I don't know anything about your past. Maybe you used to drink alcohol in your past. Maybe you used to commit big sins and you were promiscuous in the past. How can I give you my daughter in marriage? This is silly. This is silly, my dear friends. when a person, you're just asking for excuses. Because you're too embarrassed to say that you're not part of my country, you don't speak my language, you're not from my nationality, that's why I'm not giving you my daughter. Some people make excuses. These are excuses. You're afraid that he's going to go back to his religion? Well, he's been a Muslim for the past 5 years, 10 years. He's been practicing Islam more than you and me. And you're afraid that he's going to go back to his why? Have you seen any signs that he's going to go back to his religion? That's a silly excuse. You don't know anything about his past. Well, you know, the young men from your nationality that come and propose to your daughters, do you know anything about their past? What have they done? How promiscuous they were? How much alcohol they've drank? What, do you go and do a background check on them? No. Who has a perfect past? Only the ma'soomeen. Who can say that I have a perfect past? No. Not even from the person that speaks your own language. This is a shame. It's time that we practice what we preach. In Islam, we say that everyone's equal. Yet when he comes and asks our daughter's hand in marriage, we say no. Is this fair? This is not fair. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi had a companion by the name of Juwaybir. Listen to the story, it's interesting. Juwaybir was one of the companions of Rasulullah. But he was poor. He was black. He was from Ethiopia. He was black. He was poor. He didn't own a house. He lived inside the Masjid of Rasulullah. There's a corner in the Masjid of Rasulullah called As-Suffa. Those of you that have been to the Masjid of Rasulullah, you know what I'm talking about. A corner called As-Suffa or As-Safwa. It's a corner in the Masjid of Rasulullah. This was a corner for the homeless. Whoever didn't own a home, whoever was homeless, he didn't have a family, he would come and live inside the Masjid of Rasulullah. One of them was Juwaybir. He was homeless. He didn't have a family. He left his family in Ethiopia and he moved and to be part of the Muslim community. One day Rasulullah saw Juwaybir sitting in the mosque praying. He felt bad for him. He was by himself, without a wife, without children, without a family, without a house. Rasulullah went to him. He told him, how are you doing, Juwaybir? He said, Alhamdulillah, as you can see, Ya Rasulullah. He told him, Ya Juwaybir, don't lose hope in Allah. One day, you will have a house of yourself. You will have your own home. And you will have a wife, and you will have children. Juwaybir started laughing. He said, me? I have a home? Where do I have the money to have a home? And me being married? Where will I get a wife from? Who will give me their daughter? I live in Arabia. You think anyone will give me their daughter for me to marry? Rasulullah told him, Ya Juwaybir, this is Islam. You're a Muslim. And we're all Muslim. In Islam, everyone's equal. There's no such thing in Islam as Arabian or African or Iraqi or... He didn't say Iraqi, this is from me. Everyone is equal in Islam and in the eyes of Allah. Told him, Ya Rasulullah, but look at my skin color. My skin color is dark. It's black. Do you honestly think that someone from here will give me their daughter? He said, yes. Right now, I want you to get up. He got up, he got excited. He told him, go to so-and-so's house. You go and knock at his door. And you tell him that Rasulullah sent me. And I am here to propose to your daughter. His daughter's name was Al-Dhalfa. Go tell him that Rasulullah sent me. And he orders you, he commands you to marry me to your daughter Al-Dhalfa. He told him, Ya Rasulullah, are you sure about this? I mean, it seems a bit dodgy. He said, go and do as I tell you. He went. He knocked at the door. The man was from the Ansar, from the people of Medina, the indigenous people of Medina. He welcomed the man. He sat down. He told him, I am Rasulullah sent me. And if Rasulullah hadn't sent me, I wouldn't have come to you. But Rasulullah sent me. He said, okay, you're more than welcome. What's the occasion? He said, Rasulullah sent me and he told me to order you to let me marry your daughter, Al-Dhalfa. He said, Rasulullah sent you? And he's ordering? He said, yes. He said, I am honored that Rasulullah has sent you, but I'm sorry. We, the people of Medina, we marry between each other. I give my daughter to my neighbor, my neighbor, gives me his daughter for my son, and so on and so forth. We give our daughters to our own people. We don't give it to strangers and foreigners. I apologize. I'm very sorry. The man said, I told you Rasulullah had sent me, and you tell me I'm sorry? Juwaybir, tears came to his eyes. He got up and he left. The girl, Al-Dhalfa, she was eavesdropping. She was listening behind the door. As most young ladies, they listen when a suitor comes to propose. She came out. She said, my father, what did you do? The man told you that Rasulullah has sent you. You tell him, I'm sorry, and you apologize? Rasulullah commanded you. He said, well, I'm looking out for your interest. Do you agree to marry him? She said, yes, I agree. If Rasulullah wants me to marry him, I'll marry him, and I'll be honored to do so. He said, but he's from Ethiopia, he's black. She said, I don't care. He's a mu'min, he's a Muslim. And Rasulullah has sent him, I'll be honored. Go to him. He went, he caught him. He told him, please don't be upset. And I changed my mind. And my daughter is willing to marry you. Let's go to Rasulullah and let's see what he says. They went to Rasulullah. He told him, Ya Rasulullah, did you really send him? He said, of course I sent him. He said, as long as you have sent him and you ordered this, then I accept and my daughter accepts. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Now listen to what happened after that. A few days later, they got married, and Rasulullah bought him a house. Him and his companions, they arranged for a house. He got married. He has a house, and he has a wife, and he had a beautiful wedding. And Rasulullah said his nikah. Can it get better than this? The night of his wedding, his wife entered his house. Beautiful gown, beautiful wife. She came, she sat. It's his wedding night. Instead of going to meet his wife, he stood at the corner of the house and he began praying. Praying. Okay, the wife waited 30 minutes, hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. It seemed like there's no luck. The man kept on praying until morning. So she fell asleep. The next morning, the old woman, they came, and the old woman, the morning of the wedding, with the annoying questions that they ask. Tell us the details, what happened. She told them, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but nothing happened. They said, what are you talking about? Nothing happened. He came and he proposed to you. She said, yes. Believe it or not, he spent the entire night in worship, praying. The second night, she got dressed and she was prepared for him. Again, he went, stood in the corner, and he started praying. The entire night. I know you're probably thinking he's insane, but wait. Again, the second morning, the ladies, they came and they said, tell us. She said nothing. The third day, the third night, again Juwaybir went and stood at a corner and he started praying the entire night. The next morning, the old ladies got fed up. They said, you know what? We're going to go and tell your father, because this man, there's something wrong with him. So they went and they told her father. The father got extremely upset. He came and he told Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, you ordered me to give my daughter to Juwaybir. Now that they're married, there's nothing going on. He spends the entire night in worship. Rasulullah called Juwaybir. Told him, come here. What the heck are you doing? What's going on? You spend the entire night in worship? Told him, Ya Rasulullah, my whole life I haven't had a roof on my head. My whole life I've been by myself. I don't even have a house. My whole life I've been single. I never dreamed of getting married from someone from Medina. Within a few days, Allah gave me a house and Allah gave me a beautiful wife. Doesn't Allah deserve for me to go and thank Him for 3 nights? Shouldn't I thank Allah and be grateful? He told him, okay, be grateful, but 3 nights is enough. He said, yes, I agree. 3 nights is enough, and inshallah tonight, I'll make you proud, Ya Rasulullah. And alhamdulillah, he met his wife. And this is how it is in Islam. This is from the core of Islam, my dear brothers and sisters. This is a story that shows there's no racism in Islam. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. This is one of the challenges, my dear brothers and sisters, that converts face. Not just male converts. In fact, even female converts, they face a challenge. But their challenge is a bit difficult. It's a bit different. And I'm embarrassed to say this, but I must, because it's a problem in some of our communities. Many of the female converts that convert to Islam, they also have an issue with marriage. A lot of the native Muslims, they propose to them, they propose to these female converts to Islam, but not for permanent marriage, for temporary marriage. And for some converts, this is extremely offensive. This is offensive because many of them feel that, what, I am not qualified to be your wife? I am not qualified to be the mother of your children? Only a woman from your own country or your own nationality is qualified to be your wife and to be the mother of your children? You only want me for a temporary marriage and not permanent marriage? Many female converts to Islam have faced this challenge and continue to do so. And this is a problem. Why? She's not worthy of being your wife or the mother of your children? This is a problem, my dear friends. She's not good enough. This needs to change. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. A third challenge is that many of these converts, when they convert to Islam, obviously they're going to lose many of their old friends, their non-Muslim friends. First of all, their family members. Many of their family members, they boycott them. They disassociate themselves. They disassociate themselves from these converts. They don't want to have anything to do with them. This is their family members. Some of them, their own parents, their siblings, their old friends, co-workers. When they hear that this person has converted to Islam, that's it. They no longer speak to them. They no longer communicate with them. This is a problem. In addition to that, the Muslim community, they don't welcome them. Yes, they welcome them into their mosques. That's it. We have converts, we see them at the mosque, we say our salams to them at the mosque, but not outside the mosque. We don't invite them to our homes. We don't invite them for iftar, for lunch, for dinner, for breakfast. No. Our relationship with most converts is at the mosque. It doesn't go beyond the mosque. It doesn't go beyond the Islamic Center. This is not right. These people have lost their old friends. They've lost their family members. Let us be their new family members. Let us be their new friends. Let's welcome them into our communities, into our homes. And Ramadan, if you know of a convert in your community, invite them to your home for iftar. It's a great reward. And you'll make them happy. اتقوا النار ولو بشق تمرة. Rasulullah stated. Avoid hellfire by breaking the fast of a person, even if it's half of a date. Half of a date. Give someone half of a date, let them break their fast. You will avoid hellfire. Let that person be a convert. Welcome them to your home and invite them for iftar. You know how much reward that is? First of all, you're breaking someone's fast. Second of all, you're welcoming someone to your home. At'am, you're feeding someone. That's also highly rewarding. Third, you're making a mu'min happy. إدخال السرور على قلب المؤمن. That is very rewarding. You know, some converts, all they need is someone to speak to, someone that will listen to them. They have a lot of challenges, a lot of problems. All they need is a friend, someone to listen to. They need an ear for them, a good friend. That's all they need. Is that too hard to give? Why do we make converts feel that they are not worthy of being invited to our homes and not worthy of our friendship? Why? Why? Is this the teachings of Islam? Number 4, one of the challenges that many converts face, and this is very annoying, that many of them, they're asked repeatedly to repeat the story of their conversion. We tell them, brother so-and-so and sister so-and-so, tell us, remind us, how did you become a Muslim? You know, if it's for inspiration, if it's for motivation, if you want people to be motivated and inspired, that's fine. You ask these converts to repeat their story of conversion. But some of them, they do so for pride. They want to feel proud of their religion. They want to feel proud. They come, tell us your story. How did you convert? See? Are we on the right path? Are we? They're doing it to show off, basically. And a lot of converts feel that they are being kept around. They're kept around and they're asked to repeat their stories of conversion just to be shown off. That's very annoying. That's very selfish. And that's very disrespectful. That's disrespectful to the convert. You're only showing him off. You keep him around in your community to say that in our community we have a convert. We made him a Muslim. We taught him about Islam. This is not right. This is selfishness. This is showing off. This is riyā. And this is haram. This is forbidden in Islam. You keep that convert only to be shown off. Number 5, among the challenges is that many of these converts, when we welcome them, you know, when they sit with us, we preach to them about Islam. You know, in Islam, there's this and that, and we preach to them about Islam. You know, guess what? Many of these converts, especially those who have converted to Islam, it's been a couple of years and they've read. You know, most of these converts, they know about Islam more than you and me. Do you know that? Many of them know about Islam more than you and I. But what do? When we sit during iftar at our Islamic center, during lunch, dinner, we preach to them about Islam. We try to teach them about Islam. Yes, if that person has newly converted, he just converted recently, it makes sense. If he asks you, she asks you to teach him about Islam, that makes sense, that's fine. But if this person, he converted 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and you're still preaching to him about Islam, that's nonsense. This person probably knows about Islam more than you, more than me. We don't need to preach to him. Most of the converts that I know, my dear brothers and sisters, many of the converts that I know have a great scholarship in Islam. They know a great deal about Islam. Some of them are scholars in Islam. Yes. In fact, my advice is, let's give them a platform. Many of these converts, let's give them a chance to come and speak. Come and share their knowledge. Come and tell us about their experience. You know, many converts, when they converted to Islam, they noticed things about Islam that you and I did not notice. They noticed certain aspects that you and I, we as Muslims, we're Muslims, we practice Islam every day, but we forget certain aspects. We don't pay attention to certain aspects. Converts, they pay attention. Let's hear from them. We might learn a thing or two. Let's give them a chance to come and speak. Let's welcome them into our Islamic centers. Unfortunately, at many Islamic centers, they're not welcome. Yes, they're welcome to come and listen, but not to speak. Why? Why? Let's give them a chance to come and speak. You know, I have a lot of friends that are converts, and some of them are scholars. Some of them have come and learned and studied at the Islamic seminary in Iraq. And I would like to, promote them and send them to various places to speak. But I'm afraid. You know why? I'm not afraid of them. I'm afraid of how they will be treated at those communities. I'm afraid that some of them will maybe accuse them of being a spy, mistreat them, disrespect them. I'm afraid of that. Number 6, among the challenges is that some converts are made fun of. They're made fun of. You know, when you convert to Islam, you don't recite the Quran properly. You don't recite the Salah properly. You don't speak Arabic properly. You're new to Islam. Everything's new to you. Maybe her hijab isn't perfect. Their Salah isn't perfect. Maybe they can't sit on the ground the same way that we do. Maybe they can't eat the food that we do. Right? But this doesn't give us the excuse to make fun of them and laugh at them. I've heard from many converts that we are made fun of. They laugh at us. They ridicule us because we can't speak like them. Because we can't pronounce the Quran like them. Is this Islam and Islamic teachings? The hadith says, "Man ahana li waliyan faqad arsala li muharabati." He who insults a believer, it's as if he's declaring war against Allah. If you insult one believer, this has to stop, my dear friends. These are only some of the challenges. If you know some converts, they will tell you, ask them, and they will tell you tens of other challenges. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Let's keep in mind, my dear brothers and sisters, this is a reminder for us that the early Muslims, that the early Sahaba, those who supported Islam, they were all what? What were they? You tell me. They were all converts. They were all converts to Islam. Who was born a Muslim? None of them. They all converted to Islam. From Salman al-Farisi to Abu Dhar to Ammar, Al-Miqdad, Bilal, others, they all converted to Islam. Yet look at them. We revere them today. We respect them. Islam reached us because of them and their accomplishments. If it wasn't for them, perhaps none of us would have been Muslim. It was because of their sacrifice. Look at Sumayya, the mother of Ammar. She converted to Islam. The first martyr in Islam. She sacrificed her life for Islam. Yasir, the father of Ammar, he sacrificed his life for Islam. These were all converts. Wahab al-Kilabi, on the day of Ashura, he sacrificed his life for Islam. He was what? He was a convert. Let's keep this in mind. 2, let's keep in mind that in Islam, everyone's equal. Everyone's equal. Whether you're a convert or you're a native. There's no difference. There's no difference. إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةٌ. Believers are brothers. We're one family. We're one family. We're brothers and sisters. Whether we're converts or non-converts. We're all equal. Number 3. In fact, some converts are better than us. Yes, they're better than us. You and I, we didn't have to do research. You and I, we didn't have to convert. We didn't have to sacrifice. We didn't have to leave our old faith. Converts that were brave enough to make research. They went, they researched. They converted. That was a major sacrifice. They left their former faith and they accepted a new faith. Do you think that's easy? To leave your former faith, the faith and the religion of your parents and your forefathers, to leave it and accept a new religion. Do you think that's easy? They abandoned their former friends. They accepted a religion that's very restricting. Pray 5 times a day. Fast 30 days in the month of Ramadan. Pay khums. Go to Hajj. Wear hijab. Only eat halal food. These are all restrictions. Someone to live a life of easiness, to live an easy life and accept a religion that has so many laws and restrictions. Do you think that's easy? I think that converts are better than us. They've made sacrifice that we didn't have to sacrifice. This requires a lot of jihad and nafs, combating our nafs and performing jihad against our nafs. Let's remember this. You and I, we were born into Islam. We didn't have to research, we didn't have to sacrifice, we didn't have to compromise. We were fasting ever since we were 8, 9, 10. We were praying ever since we were 8 and 9. None of this is new to us. We grew up as Muslims. Let's appreciate them. Also, converts have the potential to perform da'wah better than you and me. Converts from New Zealand, from America, from Australia, from Europe, they have the potential to call people to Islam, to get people to convert into Islam. Yes, they speak the language, they know the culture, they know the mentality. They're not so different. They have the potential to get tens of people to convert to Islam. They have that potential. Let's give them the platform. Let's give them the resources and the means. If we have satellite channels, let's invite them to our satellite channels. If we have Islamic centers, let's give them the chance, the platform to come and speak. They have the chance, they have the potential to get people to convert to Islam. And my last words to my dear converts, those who have converted to Islam, my dear brothers and sisters, I tell them, number one, don't be shocked. When you are mistreated by Muslims, don't be shocked. Because Muslims do not necessarily equal Islam. Islam is one thing and Muslims are another. Not all Muslims practice Islam. So if you are mistreated, someone disrespected you, someone accused you of being a spy, someone, mistreated you, this doesn't mean that it represents Islam. No, Islam is innocent of such actions. Thus, draw a thin line between Islam and Muslims. And number two, be patient. Just like the early converts. The early converts, they were patient. Yet look, their names were recorded in history. Salman al-Farisi, Ammar ibn Yasir, Bilal al-Habashi. They were converts. They were persecuted. They faced so many challenges. Yet, their names were recorded. We are living off of their achievements. And you have that potential. Just like Ammar and Salman and Abu Dhar. And may Allah give you may Allah give you more power and strength. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us all. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. اللهم إني أسألك أن تجعل فيما تقضي وتقدر من الأمر المحتوم في الأمر الحكيم من القضاء الذي لا يرد ولا يبدل أن تكتبنا من حجاج بيتك الحرام المبرور حجهم المشكور سعيهم المغفور ذنوبهم المكفر عنهم سيئاتهم وأن تجعل فيما تقضي وتقدر أن تطيل عمري في خير وعافية وتوسع في رزقي وتجعلني ممن تنتصر به لدينك ولا تستبدل بي غيري. أعوذ بجلال وجهك الكريم أن ينقضي عني شهر رمضان أو يطلع الفجر من ليلتي هذه ولك قبلي تبعة أو ذنب تعذبني عليه ولأرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات. الفاتحة مع الصلوات.